AITA for wanting to break up with my BF of 6 months? Posted by Oregon Homebound. Okay, so me, 23F, my BF, 32M, have been together about 6 months. We meet through a mutual friend and basically hit it off the moment we met. Great conversation, great chemistry, and he checked all my boxes for a partner. A little backstory, I met him about a year after leaving my relationship of 8 years. He had also just ended his marriage with the mother of one of his kids, he has two. I never saw a partner having kids as a bad thing. I've always loved kids and have always admired people who step up to raise kids that aren't their own. My stepdad, my step-grandpa, my aunt and uncle, non-blood related to me, but all played huge parts in my life and have all raised kids that aren't theirs and are amazing, loving step-parents. When we met, I was living with my grandparents at the time because I had just moved across the country after I ended things with my partner of 8 years. I'm also a part-time student, and I work part-time. Between work, school, and studying, my plate is already full. When my BF and I first got together, I'd cook and clean when I came over as a nice gesture because I can see his hands were full working full-time and being a father to two kids. He has full custody of the oldest and 50-50 of the youngest. He would constantly bring up how nice it was whenever I came over. He would mention that since it's such a long drive from where I was staying with my grandparents to his house, that I should just move in. I kind of laughed this off at first because we had been dating for such a short amount of time. At the time, it was only 1 to 2 months. He ended up convincing me to move in, and at the time it sounded like a good idea to me. He told me we would have more time to spend together, more time to go on hikes together. I should also mention that I'm a very active person. I go to the gym 3 to 4 times a week, hiking, horseback riding, or any physical activity that I could possibly do in my free time. When we first started talking, my BF made it sound like he was into all of those things too, talking about how he was raised on a farm, how he just never had the time. And if I moved in, that me helping around the house and with the kids, it would free up more time for us to spend together. Fast forward, I moved in, somewhat against my grandparents' wishes. They think BF is a good guy, but don't think that he's the guy for me. It's now been 6 months. I've been living here for about 4, and we haven't gone on a single hike, played a single sport, or done any physical activity aside from walking to the grocery store together. I've brought up multiple times how physical activity and an active lifestyle for things that I need for my mental and physical health. Whenever this is brought up, he constantly brings up who we have no time and that the gas money alone it would take to get to these things makes it not worth it. Mind you, whenever he does have free time, he spends it on the couch watching anime for hours at a time, or on video games for, I kid you not, 6 to 8 hours at a time. All the while, I'm left with 2 kids to look after, a house to clean, and dinner to make. Now, my BF is a good guy, he's a patient father and a kind boyfriend, but I feel like he is too stuck in his ways or too comfortable with the life that he has now to consider my feelings and change. I feel like I have become some sort of replacement for his ex-wife or a live-in nanny. It should also be a good time to mention he likes to make jokes about how a woman's place is in the kitchen, how cooking and cleaning is for women, and he only helps when we're having food that needs to be cooked on his outdoor grill, as I'm not allowed to touch it because he thinks I'll break it. I was also under the impression when I moved in that he would be paying for all of the bills, the house bills and his bills. I pay for my own bills. Being as how I make minimum wage and work 20 hours a week, I can barely afford my own bills. But lately, he's been asking for me to pay $500 for rent. Mind you, this is half of my monthly income, and if I did pay it, I wouldn't be able to afford my own bills. I do love this man, and I don't want to abandon him with all of his responsibilities and raising his 2 kids on his own. I never put much thought into being another and always assumed that if it happened, I'd be in a loving marriage with a man that has the same outlook on life as I do. Another thing to note, not only does he not live an active lifestyle, but he doesn't see it as important for his children to either. They sit inside all day on their phones and tablets, sometimes not moving from the couch or their bed for the entire day. It makes me sad, but since these aren't my children, I have no authority to put them into sports or to take them to do any physical activity. I've noticed since moving in, my mental health has significantly declined and my physical health is going down the drain. I don't know how to go about this, how to tell him I'm not happy, how to tell him that I love him, but I am not in love with him any longer, or how to leave his 2 children that I have grown very fond of and love. I've already talked to my grandparents and I'm welcome home anytime I please. Any advice on what I should do is more than welcome. I am so sad and heartbroken that this wonderful, kind man isn't who I thought he was. Successful ad 4066 comments, gee, who could foreseen that moving in with a guy nearly 10 years older with 2 kids after only dating a couple of months would go so wrong? Of course you should break up. You have approximately 0 in common. Anna Ajax comments, "This is really sad to read. Clearly, he wanted you to move in so you could cook, clean, and look after his kids while he seemingly relaxes. He also clearly doesn't care about your interests. You've expressed that being active is important to you, and he just doesn't care. You should leave. It's a shame for the kids, but that's not your responsibility. Your grandparents are right. He is not the man for you." Sheeperd Empty 281 comments, "Yeah, he didn't want a partner. He wanted a maid and a nanny. Get up before you end up having a baby, too. NTA. No Week 53 comments, "NTA, please leave. This man has lied to you to get you to become his nanny. You're so young. Get out now. Don't waste any more time on this man-child. It's crap about the kids, but that's not your responsibility. If you stay, it will only get worse, and you'll have wasted your life with this joke of a person." ByBig2613 comments, "Girl, he is not a good boyfriend. He is using you. And he is not joking when he says a woman's place is in the kitchen. He clearly pretended to show an interest in the things you were interested in to hook you. You don't have anything in common, nor would any divorced man with 2 kids and a young single woman with her whole life in front of her still have. He wants a live-in maid and a nanny and doesn't want to pay for it. Your grandparents were right when they said he is not the man for you. Is this the life you want to live? Because if you stay with him, nothing is going to change. He's not going to hikes with you. He's not going to put your wants and needs first. Get out while you can. You leaving is not you abandoning him. It's you saving yourself from a future cleaning up after him and his kids, never being appreciated, and your wants, needs, dreams, and desires coming last."
Update. I finally left him. Back in September, I made a post, "AITA for wanting to break up with my BF of 6 months?" And every comment said yes, so I moved out October 1st. I know a lot of people in the original post wanted an update and to know that I did it, and I'm sorry for not updating. I debated a lot on if I should or not, so here we go. I, 23F, had a 32M boyfriend who had 2 kids. I work and take college classes at the same time. The relationship quickly turned into me being the caretaker for his kids and him while I also juggled work and school. Everyone who commented on my original post brought to my attention how he turned me into a bang nanny and how I was naive. I thank all of you for that, by the way. I left October 1st and moved back into my grandma's house, where I have been ever since. Life has gotten so much easier for me. I'm not constantly stressed, and I don't have to worry about paying a good portion of his rent or groceries anymore. He did try to get me to come back many times, calling me, texting me how much he loves me and how he'll never find another woman like me and how he was his one true soulmate. I wasn't buying it. I stood firm in my choice and life has been better. He texted me the other day telling me he slept with an ex-fling of his. She is older and known for sleeping with anyone who looks at her. He told me how disgusting he felt after and how he wished I didn't hurt him so much. Basically telling me it was all my fault he slept with her. Long story short, my life is amazing now he isn't in it. I've gone on 2 girls' trips and 3 solo hikes, and my smile has never been brighter. I owe it all to you, Reddit. Star Angel 1973 comments, "Love this kind of update. So happy for you." Dismal-remote-3906 comments, "Me too. I have to point out that his behavior when wanting to get back with you is called love bombing, and it's manipulation. The tell is, why was he not like this before when it mattered in the relationship? He was not paying attention during the relationship, and now that he has consequence for that, of having to do things on his own, he wants you to come back. That is not him being loving. It's him trying to save himself and at your expense. Well done for not going back. I wish you the best." Wacky-Spaz comments, "Take it from a single dad. A lot of us simply look for a new mother, new cleaner, and new cook, and if sex gets thrown in as well, fabulous. Saw it so much at the single dad support group, kind of made me sick. Good for you for exiting. If anyone reads this, don't do what OP did. Don't touch any single dads that haven't lasted a year alone minimum and adjusted, or you'll be like OP. Initially, we're overwhelmed with working, kids, bills, cooking, cleaning, and a lot of people just look for a replacement. Not all, but a lot." Janet in Spain comments, "I'm so happy to see this update. Another young woman who has learned to love herself more than some loser. Way to go." Terry Dia comments, "Good for you for getting out and thriving again. At this point, I'd block him everywhere so you don't have to hear from him again and he gets the message to go away. Build a great life for yourself."